good afternoon. This is Michael Kinnett. I wanted to welcome you to the weekly iTNet Tech Update. Today we're going to be talking about tips. The tip that I'm going to be talking about today is going to be how to speed up your computer. And we're also going to share some news and open it up for any questions. So every Friday at 1 o'clock we do this. It's the iTNet Tech Update. We go live on Facebook, my LinkedIn, and on our Twitter account. And the purpose is to educate, inform, and kind of discuss news, events, and share some tips and tricks that can help you in your business with your cybersecurity and with your IT and technology needs. And then we open it up for questions. I'd love to have comments. Those of you that are watching live, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. Those of you maybe that are watching this after the fact, I'd like to thank you as well for taking the time. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn watching, please comment below, be involved. We'd like to answer any questions, and just know that you're here. If you're on Twitter, we can't see those live in real time while I'm broadcasting, but tweet it out and we'll respond as soon as we can. So today, I always start off with a little bit of news, and this is kind of I don't want to get too deep in the technology weeds here with this, but I think it's interesting. There's been, you may have seen this in the news, but there's been a BotNet attack. It's called Mantis. It's based on a previous BotNet, but with some changes, of course, as the criminals and hackers do, right? They take something that worked in the past and they tweak it and then launch it again. And so it's called Mantis. Cloudflare is a large web security company, and they've presented some reports and some data on this and how it's affecting their customers. And what's happening is this BotNet attack. So it's infecting about 5,000 computers globally, is what Cloudflare has detected. So 5,000 systems are infected with this BotNet, and then this BotNet network is being used to do denial of service or DOS attacks on other companies' servers. And what's interesting about this, in the past, a lot of the large denial of service attacks have come from Internet Things devices, IoT devices, right? So cameras, camera systems, smart home devices, other things that get hacked, and then those are used to do these denial of service attacks out. This time, they're infecting servers. So this botnet is targeted and is infecting servers, and mainly cloud servers that have a bit of capacity, right, to be able to use for these attacks. So it's a smaller network than we typically see, but a very powerful one. In fact, they have done over 3,000 attacks in the last month alone that Cloudflare has detected and blocked. And one of the attacks peaked. It was a short attack, but it peaked at 26, make sure I get the number right, 26 million HTTP requests per second. So to put that in perspective, the average web server can handle up to 1,000 requests per second. And so this attack was 26 million per second. So very quickly, this would have overwhelmed your web server and taken it offline because it would not be able to keep up with it. So that's the news. Cloudflare is aware of it. It's out there. They're doing some steps to try to mitigate and locate and contact those that are infected to clean things up. But just a kind of interesting thing out in the news that there's this large attacks that are happening from this fairly small botnet network. Hopefully that wasn't too technical. I thought it was really interesting. All right, today, now for our tech tip, right? So today we're gonna be talking about how to clean up your computer. I don't think might have been last week, might have been a couple weeks ago. We talked about how you can speed up your internet, right? And I gave you some tips on what you can do to kind of clean up your browser and check with your internet provider and some various things to make sure your internet's working well. And that works for your home computer as you're working remotely. Also could work for your office computer, right? If you notice things are going a little bit slower. And so today I want to kind of take the next step, because frequently we'll get our clients that'll call us and they'll say, oh, my internet's not working or my internet's slow. And as we work with them on troubleshooting it, we quickly find that, well, no, it's not the internet, it's actually the computer itself, right? That's the symptom of the computer not operating properly is the internet seems slow, when in reality the computer can't process it and is running slow. So today, kind of continuing that, if you've done those steps I recommended in the past for your internet, still having some issues, maybe your internet provider says, no, everything's good with that, then you may have to look at your computer. So here's some tips and tricks and things that you can do to kind of speed up your computer. One, clean up your junk files and programs. Everybody has programs that they install to try to do this or that, and then 3 months go by and you've never opened it, never touched it, right? So these programs you install on your computer take up space, and sometimes they're actually, part of them are running all the time. A lot of programs, when you install, have a small component of them that loads on startup for notifications or updates or whatever reason. And so those things can take up system memory, system resources, and storage space on your computer. So it's a good idea to go through from time to time, maybe every few months, and go through your list of programs and say, okay, well, do I use this program? No. Should it be removed? Should I keep it? And make some decisions on there. One other step you can do is clean up your hard drive, right? So you can defragment your hard drive. That's kind of an old terminology, right? From back in the day. If your computer has a solid state drive, don't need to worry about it. In fact, if you defragment your hard drive for a solid state, you can actually cause your solid state to fail faster, because they're only built to handle, X number of hundreds of thousands of reads and writes. And once you hit that maximum number of writes, you're out. And so if you're defragmenting your hard drive and moving data around, you're essentially limiting the life of that hard drive. So if you have an older hard drive that's not a solid state, yes, you do need to defragment or optimize your hard drive. Viruses, malware, spyware, junkware, there's all kinds of different programs out there that really should not be running on your computer, right? So make sure you're running scanners and you're cleaning up and get rid of those things that you're not using. Run reputable antivirus, anti-malware programs and clean up what they find as well. Another thing you can do is you can look at system errors, right? There's some various commands that you can run. Maybe we can post those later somewhere else, but you can run SFC scan now. There's some DISM where you can run where the computer checks with Microsoft servers and compares the overall system health and says, hey, do I look healthy to you? And if not, it can download some files and try to clean up and optimize some stuff to fix some of those system errors. Another big one that slows down computers is visual effects. So if you've got, when you open a window and you can see how it like gradually gets bigger and then it pops up and all those, different, you resize them and all those visual graphics to make it look nice and pretty, those all take up system resources as well. So you can go into the Windows settings and disable those visual effects or modify the settings so that they're not using up as much of your resources if you're having problems. Another thing that you can do is evaluate, maybe it's time to upgrade some of the hardware components. If your computer's running slow, it's possible that it's overheating, right? Maybe your fans aren't working the way that they should, and you need to crack open the case, blow out the dust, disconnect things, reconnect things, and clean that up so that the fans are working and airflow's working and it's not overheating. The other thing you can do is evaluate adding more RAM, add more memory. That can be a big boost to overall speed. Or if you have an older hard drive that you're defragging all the time, maybe it's time to upgrade to a solid state drive. You get a huge boost in performance and speed by going to a solid state drive. And then finally, if you're still having lots of issues, you may consider reinstalling the operating system. Windows 10, Windows 11 make it fairly easy to leave your files and your data there and do a system refresh to kind of fix some of those errors. And if that doesn't fix it, well, maybe it's time to upgrade your computer to something newer. Another thing I just want to point out, most of what I talked about in optimizing and defragging and cleaning up system errors and other stuff, if you have an IT company such as Eternal Networks, most likely they're doing all those steps for you. And if you're running into any issues, open a ticket with them and say, hey, my computer seems to be running a little bit slower than normal. They'll go through their checklist of all these things and probably several more, make sure that your system's healthy, and then can offer some recommendations, such as maybe you need more memory or an upgraded hard drive. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Let's see, I don't know if I've seen any questions coming through yet, but if you have any questions about that, comments, please feel free to send those through. I do want to point out, we do have a webinar coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be on July 28th, 1 o'clock Pacific time. And we're going to be talking about how SD-WAN can help your business save time and money, increase some efficiencies, and hopefully be very informative of you as to what SD-WAN is, and how it can help your business. So we've got a specialist coming in from Sophos who's going to be talking about that. Myself and the rest of the team will be there as well. So those of you regulars that join us on our webinars, we're more than happy to see you on there. Any of you that haven't joined us for one, please register. We'd love to see you on one of our webinars. I've got the links posted in the comments below, so you can go ahead and go in and register for that. I also put the link to the article on that botnet attack. So if anybody's interested in more of the details on that, you can go and read more in that article. So just looking at this, I don't see any other comments, questions coming in. So if any of you do have some, you can always direct message me on any of our social media. You can email me, go on our website and fill out a form to request more information. We can be contacted in multiple ways. So I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions for you. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next week.